You know what I'm not going to do? I'm not going to start with ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
kinda
I
did.
only
Rookie
say that to
mistake.
take the piss out of you, Jack.
Rookie mistake.
You kind of did.
I thought,
You thought?
despite the fact that we have a game-focused podcast, it's actually very PlayStation-focused.
Yep.
Platinum Explosion. It posts sometime after we record it on a Monday night.
Tuesday 12 p.m. Australian time.
Eastern Daylight Time.
At the moment.
We don't know what we're talking about, but it's approximately similar to everything that we do here. I'll have another beer while you're up. Thanks, Johnny. I thought, given the theme of the day, that we might discuss our gaming histories.
Okay.
For Pleasure Explosion, so on Pleasure Explosion, usually the six of us, not Kieran, because he is playing D&D when we no, sit down, you're welcome to stay here. Kieran's usually playing D&D when we sit down to record on a Sunday night. Yeah, but I thought, given the theme of the day, that talking about our gaming histories would work for platinum for a Pleasure Explosion this week.
Dylan projects.
We're 45.
No, we've got till 9 o'clock. So it's a double period.
Oh, it's a double?
This is a double. We gave a double.
We put 2 hours
Super
down
long
for this.
episode off.
So it's
Essentially.
We should also thank everyone at Kind of Funny for hosting us.
And
as well.
thank you, Daily Chat, for following.
Yeah, everyone.
And everybody, if you followed us today, thank
Everyone
you.
who's
Are we going to
watching
thank all the followers in the... Are you going to edit this at all?
Nato wants to know what's D&D. It's a thing I introduced you to at PAX.
Yeah.
There was this panel with
Ali, do you want to see my dog?
improv.
Snoopy, come here.
I believe there are a number of dice that you roll, and you just pretend.
Snoopy, come here.
things.
How did you know that?
Have you seen Stranger Things? That's how I know
It's
that.
a nerd thing. You wouldn't get it. It's like anime, you know. It's
Anime.
Not in your
NATO
world.
wouldn't know that either.
Anime doesn't know. Anime doesn't know what NATO is.
Anime definitely doesn't.
NATO says one dice.
One dice.
One dice.
You only need one dice.
D5.
One die, not dice, NATO. Come on, man.
What exactly is that?
Dice is a
What is
So what I wasn't quite sure how to structure
You're
it, whether we
welcome,
wanted
Ali.
to go on a 1-by-1 type thing.
Are you going to introduce the show?
Snoopy.
What is the show?
Nah. We just got an introduction. It was like 20 minutes long.
You just had 20 minutes of introduction.
It's gonna be a weird iTunes episode.
Do you want to introduce everybody though?
That's a good point. We should start as though it's an iTunes
Can
episode.
we do this table?
Yeah.
Can we do this table?
I'm doing it.
Can I?
I'll do it.
Colin.
Come on.
How does
It's going to sound really loud on the mic.
Each and every week.
Good luck.
Yeah.
But fuck it.
Six, sometimes seven. Best friends
Rarely seven.
gather around this table. Yay! Week by week, bringing a random topic of discussion for your amusement. Because
Follow support us on Patreon.
we don't.
Wait, hold off until we get one. And then
Actually, donate to Extra Life.
Yeah, there is no Patreon. That doesn't exist. Donate to Extra Life. Joining me this week, Jono himself.
Howdy do.
Sorry, Ali, for your ears.
That's a new one. Jack Cruz,
plat plat.
Ashley Holborn.
I've sobered up.
I made him drink so much water.
I'm calling bullshit on that. Kieran Marchant,
Hi, guys.
Welcome.
Dylan Blight,
It's your boy. Someone else. Sorry.
Stole Nick's catchphrase.
and Nicholas Pryor.
It's your boy.
Oh, fuck. Try to steal it from me.
For those who haven't been around for the previous 30-something episodes
36.
That Ashley just detailed,
Plus one
Jono
extra
used to introduce himself as "It's your boy." Jono.
Best episode.
And then Nick took it over and does it at least twice as good, I would say.
I do it when Nick's not there.
Yeah. So this week I thought we would discuss, given that we're here at Extra Life, our gaming histories.
Good topic. Wonder what you thought of that.
Yeah.
I thought of that.
At the fridge. 10 minutes.
I thought of that prior to going to bed last night. I think I actually thought about it during the day yesterday and ran it by Jono last night before we went to sleep.
While you were
In the same bed.
in the same bed,
Yeah.
Pillow talk.
caressing.
That's the pillow talk.
They were
That
touching.
was the pillow talk, but there was no sexual activity.
There was no pillow talk in my bed.
No sexual activity.
Anyway, continue.
I'll do.
I wonder, how everybody feels, whether we start from the top of here is generation 1 on Wikipedia, and we talk through console by console and any particular notable stories you've got, or whether we go person by person and say what we had as a kid and sort of our favourite gaming memories. And
I think there would be less interrupting if we went person by person.
Yeah, person by person, because there might be consoles like I never had a Mega Drive,
Just do
I never had an
opposite.
Atari.
yeah.
You start one.
I was going to say you start Jono because he's at the end of the circle, and then we can just make our way around.
This isn't much of a
We'll go clockwise.
It's a semicircle.
Semicircle.
A crescent.
It is more of a crescent, yeah. Shapes.
Nato says I love pillow talk. I don't shut up. We did talk a lot at PAX, but anyway.
Jono tried. He tried to talk a lot, but I fell asleep.
For Extra Life, and you'll hear us reacting to the chat.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what's happening.
sorry, audio listeners. You should have been here.
You're all audio listeners,
We
but
might do a separate intro explaining what the
I
hell
get
this
a life
episode is.
210. Thank you for watching.
Yeah. So my gaming history, my first console was a Sega Mega Drive, or Sega, as they say in the US.
Sega!
And they also call that the Genesis. So for our American listeners, it's the second generation of Sega consoles. And yeah, like that was a ton of licensed games. It's pretty much all that came to that console, apart from Sonic and Bubsy. It was all like
Bubsy!
Yeah, Simpsons and Captain Planet and Ninja Turtle. It was all licensed crap that I remember playing, and it was still an era where you hired heaps of games. So if it was a rainy weekend
Video
or
easy.
a long weekend, you'd go down to the video store and you'd hire a game that you'd literally just pick based on the cover.
Sega.
Yeah, shout out to Sega.
Sega.
So
I keep forgetting that I had a haircut earlier. I just saw myself in the chat, and I'm like, that doesn't. Well,
Yeah,
no,
well-
that's still me.
we'll show that later. I cut Tom's hair.
Papa Drew is something.
oh my god, this episode is going to take so long if we react to everybody in chat.
That's what we're doing. Andrew Taylor, shout out. But yeah, so Mega Drive, and then so I used to play heaps with my brother. I remember playing Sonic and Bubsy quite a bit. And then PS1 was my first Sony console, and I've pretty much been with Sony ever since then. So yeah, shout out to Plat. I remember
I learned yesterday or the day before, listening to Kind of Funny Games Daily, that pony is a thing.
What's
like
pony?
when you call somebody an Xbot, like NATO or Kieran, for being like an Xbox fanboy,
Oh, it's a
that
Sony?
pony is like a Sony fanboy.
Didn't know that.
No, neither did I.
You are a bunch of ponies.
We are ponies.
Well,
we're
we-
okay with that.
For the most part, we are.
Yeah, so I remember I've talked about this on Platt before, but walking into my grandparents' house in 1996, and everyone was gathered around the TV watching my uncle play Crash Bandicoot. Like, it was the Hog Wild level. I vividly remember that. I was only like 9, but it's stuck with me up to now. And that was my introduction to Sony. Sony was like we always called it the Sony. It was never like PS1 or PlayStation or it was like the Sony.
Like the Nintendo.
Yeah, like the Nintendo. And then, so yeah, all my fond memories are PlayStation pretty much since then. So, Final Fantasy VII, Metal Gear Solid, tons of sports games. Like, I've talked about this before as well. Like, my dad worked at a newspaper, and I somehow got a gig, you could call it, as an 11, 12-year-old reviewing games for the TV guy.
You got child labour.
I thought you meant a gigabyte.
No.
I thought you meant a gigabyte as well. I was like,
a job. Like we would get free games, and they were mostly sports games. So like Madden,
Ride it, my pony.
NHL, Knockout Kings, which is a boxing game, and there was like the Motor Racer, and what was the like Sled Storm, all these kind of stuff. That's like the. Oh no! The nipple's still tender. Sorry, Jack was just getting
Manhandles.
harassed by Tom for some reason. So yeah, and then PS2, and that was mostly like a SmackDown console. Played tons of wrestling games along with the Metal Gear and other sports games. And then PS3 was a console I got in my last year at uni, and I pretty much got it to play Metal Gear again. And then that was probably the console that I played as I got into the games industry, because I had a bit of a lapse in PS2 towards the end of that generation where I was way more into music and I was way more into like TV and and I just wasn't at a point where I was like following the industry the way that we all do now and that you might have back then. But so that was kind of what got me into Beyond and that kind of sphere of
You don't do
understanding.
Beyond when they mention it as the title of the show. You do it when somebody says Beyond out of context of the podcast.
Sorry, Ali, I said that really
Beyond's
loudly.
dead to me.
So
Sorry.
beyond that,
Beyond.
That works. I'll allow that.
yeah. So that generation was the one that got me into like the industry, I suppose, and PS4 since then has been kind of just, I don't know. I love PS4. I really love PS4. I feel like we're in a good era for games. I don't know what more to say, but I will say, like, when I was younger, my relationship with my brother was very much like we play games together, we watch each other play games, and that's died off more, but we still will like play NBA 2K together when that comes out, and a few different games like that. So yeah, it's become less of a social thing and more of a I'm gonna like lose myself in this world. And like Fallout 3 was like the first game when I moved out of uni, had my first job, and I didn't know anyone where I lived. So all I could do was really come home, watch Scrubs, and play Fallout.
Scrubs!
And I played Fallout 3 like 2 different playthroughs, 120 hours each one. And it was like that was the beginning of open world gaming for me. And that kind of introduced me to, I guess, escapism in games, because before that it had just been like an entertainment medium. And
Is that because all you played was like sport games and stuff with your brother?
well, we did like have the Metal Gears and Final Fantasy and like the platforms, Jack and Daxter and a bunch of stuff
It's
like
just
that.
weird that if you played like Final Fantasy and Metal Gear as a kid, that like you're like that was the first time into immersive like gaming. If you played Metal Gear.
Yeah, those were more like it's a storytelling thing, or it's like a fun gameplay. But I feel like the open world generation was the PS3, and we played Grand Theft Autos and stuff before. But that was when I remember thinking like, oh crap, like this can actually be a world you can get lost in and let it kind of not like take over your life or anything, but it can distract you from everything that's happening if that's what you want to do. And that's something I still enjoy, just like getting like when Fallout 4 came out. I know that like some people don't rate Fallout 4 that highly, but I was like going home in my lunch breaks to play it like for 45 minutes or whatever it was. So I was just like, I need it as much as possible.
You fucking crap
I just
addict.
love it, man. Yeah. So that's my gaming history. There's a bit of PC sprinkled in there, but not lately.
We don't need to.
And a lot of adventure games. We talked about that before, like LucasArts games, Indiana Jones, and the Monkey Island game.
Pinball, that's where it's at.
Maniac Mansion. I love all those LucasArts point and clicks.
Yeah.
As well.
Jack,
That's me.
that is your name.
Oh, shit.
That's how we're going.
Good hosting, actually.
Yeah, thanks.
So my gaming, I started the first video game I ever played. It would have been 4 or 5, either one or the other. And I remember Dad came home one night with a Game Boy, like the original Game Boy, and had a copy of like it was like Capcom. I think it was Capcom. No, it might have. Who was it?
I have no idea.
We don't know.
Why are you looking it up, Jack?
Finish
We
your
weren't there.
sentence and we'll
Was
tell
it
you
a
who
black
did
and
it.
white Game Boy or was it a colour?
No, it was the
It was a
original.
black and
It was the original
The
fat
chunky.
Game Boy.
The
Yeah,
chunky
yeah.
piece of shit.
And he came home with that and Galaga and Galaxy. Galaga and
Galaga.
Galaxy.
Galaga. Galaga. Galaga.
Oh, you fucking Galaga.
Yeah, flaming gullah, said Alf Stewart.
So this is the other thing, alright? This is the other thing. Just side note, Dad and I, because we didn't know, like we'd never seen it before.
Stone
Called
the
it-
flaming crows.
Called it Galaga up until he probably called it until he died, and I called it Galaga until
You heard someone on a podcast.
someone on the podcast was like Gallagher. I'm like,
Yeah, okay, I'll give you
that
that.
makes sense. So we called it Galaga and Galaxian, and we put Galaxian's the other one.
What?
Galaxian.
What is that?
Yeah, it's
That's
just
alright. I thought you were saying galaxy
I thought
funny.
you
I was
were
like,
saying
you know, the Milky Way galaxy.
no. So Galaga and Galaxian was a double. It was a
Gallagher?
double. Galaga and Galaxian. Fuck. So it was a double, right? It was Galaga and Galaxian came on the same cartridge for the original Game Boy. And
Okay, yeah.
we used to play, and the original Game Boy was like my jam. We played that for fucking many hours.
Leave Jack alone. He has a hole in his nipple. Says Miss.
Thank you.
The hole in the nipple doesn't take away from pronunciation.
It doesn't.
Hey, you can't
fucking talk about
Pronunciation. Pronunciation, you.
I pronounce all game names right today.
We'll see.
Only game names though.
So Gallagher and Galaxian. We can move past this if you want.
I don't know if we do.
Thanos' cousins?
Anyway, two fantastic games. We played them both for many hours. And Game Boy was like my first thing that I played for forever. So I had like the Daily and Opus and the Ninja Turtles game and like the Super Mario World and all that. So the Game Boy was my entry into video games. The first video game I played. And then a couple of years later got a 64 Christmas Day. I remember getting Duke Nukem 64, GoldenEye, Mario 64, and Shadows of the
Did you say
Empire.
Christmas or birthday?
Christmas.
That's a good fucking Christmas.
Yeah, fuck yeah. And Shadows of the Empire. And the first game,
Your favourite game?
my favourite Star Wars game.
Wait, shut the fuck up about it.
And who produced my favourite Star Wars character, which is Dash Rendar. And,
Doesn't exist.
and again, not anymore. And again, a lot of that history and my early 64 playing days was like spent those hours with my old man playing like Shadows of the Empire, which felt like was a
Shadows of the Empire co-op or something.
No, but we were just taking turns. Taking turns like whoever died. And, switch bits. Yeah, so like we played that for days, and it felt like I don't know, games when you're a kid even short games felt like they were a lot longer because obviously you didn't know what you were doing. It was a lot harder to play.
You're also a lot more easily impressed. I always love like these days I see like a really beautiful game with like great graphics and whatever else. I'm just like, oh, that's cool. Yeah. Whereas as a kid, every game was like
IG-88, Boba Fett. Yeah, you think about them in retrospect, you're like, okay, they look pretty good, and you see them now. But I absolutely love those games, and the 64 was my console. I spent like a good chunk of my childhood after like that period not living in a home, like just traveling around the country, driving from place to place, and not being able to like plug my Nintendo in. It was just Game Boy. So not long, like later on down the track was when we settled down and had a house again, just the 64, and it was. I remember having like the F1 game, the Grand Prix game. And,
I had that.
Yeah, too. Racing Melbourne.
The one with the replay.
Yeah, exactly. It had Melbourne in it. Yep.
Yeah.
And there was. Yeah, so like the 64 was my jam, and I considered myself a Nintendo kid, and I'd played like neighbours' houses, SNESs and NESs and whatnot, but I.
You're right, laugh, I'm sorry.
I always considered myself a Nintendo kid, and I was always like, nah, fuck PlayStation. PlayStation's no good. And I remember a friend of mine when I was had a he had a chip in his PlayStation, like the original PlayStation.
Yeah, everyone did.
Had all of the burned games and all this stuff. And I was like, fuck, I need to get one of those. Anyway, I got in on. I used to have a paper round, and I got like $8 a week, and I saved up for like 6 months. I bought 2 games. I owned Die Hard Trilogy and Alien Trilogy, and I had them for like 6 months before I even owned a PlayStation. I would just read the instruction manual every night, like fuck, I can't wait to play these games.
When you got Die Hard, did you buy the gun to play? Because Die Hard.
And so Die Hard 1 was like
person,
Die Hard 1 was third person. Die Hard 2 was the on rails
gunship.
Die Hard 3 was the car game.
It was the car, yeah.
So no, I didn't buy the gun. But I saved up for like 8 months and with my paper around and finally got my and I got like the PS1, the little mini white one.
Yeah,
and after that I was like, Nintendo's dead to me. I was like, that was it. I was a PlayStation kid. I was all over that. I was like, Tekken was my go, Resident Evil, all that shit. And then I discovered Metal Gear Solid, which changed everything. The GOAT. So I remember demo discs. Everyone remembers demo discs as a PlayStation kid, and they were massive for me because I didn't have
played them as much as normal games.
Yeah, I remember, like, obviously, as I said, like, as a young kid, all of my gaming stuff, other than my 64 and my Game Boy, I bought every other gaming piece of hardware that I've ever owned, most of the games. And I did that through, like, paper round, working at Macca's, all that kind of shit as a kid. And demo discs were a big part of that. So having to experience a lot of games through demo discs.
Official Australian PlayStation magazine.
Yeah, absolutely. I had one of demo discs, and there was like this pipe game and a few other things, and then Metal Gear Solid. And I'd always heard about Metal Gear Solid as like people talked about it as like it's the greatest game ever, and I always thought it was a racing game. Having not seen it, played it, known anything about it, I thought, I'm like, this is like a racing game, like Gear, like Metal Gear Solid, like that's the connection that I made. And I remember putting it in and being like, he's swimming into the.
Yeah, he said putting in the work.
I remember putting it in and swimming, like in the start when you're swimming under the thing, and I'm like, and you're sneaking around and you're going up in the elevator. I'm like, I remember thinking, I'm like, this is great, but when does he get in the car? And
Well, you get behind that first box, and all of a sudden it's like,
yeah,
yeah,
and that changed everything. And
You get in the car at the very end of the game.
it's true.
Well, the last boss.
You do actually, and I replayed that demo like 100 times, and after that, PlayStation was like my jam. And
I wonder if I had the same disc, like, because the demo disc I had that had Metal Gear Solid demo on it that I played a lot, had not a demo, it had a video game trailer for Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah.
And that was the first Final Fantasy I ever saw, but it was just a video, and it's where like Cloud dives off after the bomb, and that was the first. I was like, I fucking need this game. It looked like the best thing ever in my life. And it took me like a year until, because I wasn't like didn't have enough money to buy that game or like a new one. One day I was in a secondhand store like a year later, and I saw a copy of Final Fantasy 9, and I was like, it's not the one on the demo disc. But can you get this for me, Dad? And he's like, we'll go for a walk to ATM. And I was like, one of the greatest days of my life, Final Fantasy 9.
Shout out to Dean for that.
Thanks, Dino. On your Dino.
And I was playing shit like Final Fantasy 8, again, one of my favourite games. And after that, same thing, paper round, bought my PS2, had it on lay-by for like 9 months and paid off $8 a week until I was able to buy it. And then I remember the only thing I had was Gran Turismo 3, because that was the only game that came with the console. That's all I had for months. And PS2 was a great console, but PS3 is probably my favourite console. It was the console that, and sort of how I am where I am now.
Did you skip PS2?
No, I just spoke about PS2. I had a lot of games. PS3 is probably my favourite console because that's what sort of got me back into gaming, into where I'm at now.
Stop.
And
I'll finish that for you.
I had a PS3 and I didn't really play a lot of games, and I'd sold them all or whatever, and I had a couple left. And I remember buying Mass Effect 2 and Dark Souls off eBay and be like, I just need a couple of things to play, and finding Podcast Beyond from...
Fuck you, Tom.
and being like, I want to listen to someone talk about Dark Souls. Like, this game seems really cool. Reading articles about it, and that's what got me into like the minutiae of this, like video games and how we consume them now, and this side of that world.
Similar to mine.
Yeah. So
it was Beyond that got me.
Yeah. And so I put a lot of. I put a lot of that. But yeah, PS3 was my favourite console, some of my favourite games, but favourite game of all time is Metal Gear Solid 3.
We did an episode about this, surely.
Yeah.
That game.
I don't think we did.
No, I don't think we did.
No, we did an episode of Blight.
Next episode you just talked about how much you loved it, maybe.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I mean, I love PS3 is my favourite console. PS4 I think is great, but definitely the best times I've had have been on the PS3. Games like Last of Us, the Uncharted series, Borderlands, like Bioshock.
My favourite thing is Tom's like, we have a PlayStation podcast, let's just talk about our old time gaming history, and it's like, Metal Gear Solid, PlayStation, fuck you, Nintendo!
I thought that the great thing about that was all of the games that Jack mentioned I played on PS4. My favourite thing about PS3 was The Last of Us, PS4. Uncharted, PS4. Borderlands, you can play that on PS4. And Bioshock. Yeah, I only got the collection on PS4.
Yeah.
PS4 is a great console.
That's pretty much me.
Tom.
So I was furiously making notes as you guys were talking, so I was paying attention.
Sure.
You noticed I sort of did chip in a little here and there. Okay. The first experience that I remember with video games is at my grandparents' house. They had
Galaga.
They didn't have Galaga, but is it Pong that is the table the table tennis going backwards and forwards. I've got no idea what console that was on or quite what the deal was, but I think once or twice at Grandma and Granddad's house.
Pong with the two joysticks.
Yeah, with the two joystick
Atari
things.
2600.
It's like an
It must have
original,
been.
man.
It must have been.
No, I don't even
And
know if it was Atari. Like, it used to come with, that was the only game
I
on.
wouldn't be surprised if that was it. But
My nan and pop had the Atari 2600 and I had Pong on that with the two.
yeah, with the two joysticks, that's my first like gaming memory. And
Dash.
right now,
Dash.
I wish that 15 years ago, whenever Granddad moved out of that house before he like moved into a
kept it?
like retirement home kind of thing, I'm sure my uncle and auntie just
Chucked
biffed
it.
it.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure that was in the attic. I'm like knowing my granddad as I know my dad as I know me. That would have been in its box in the attic somewhere, and it would have just got
We'll
heft in
sell
the
this
bin.
for $10. It's not worth it. Just chuck it.
Painfully disappointing because I would love to have that. Early 90s, got a Game Boy, and Jack mentioned some like those Game Boy
Double?
Classics double things. My brother and I both got Game Boys at a relatively similar time, and had a number of those doubles things. But Centipede and Millipede was one that really sticks out as a game that we used to play
Also
a
known
whole
as
lot.
Canopide.
Really?
I don't know, that's probably how Jack said it.
It probably was. Cuntipede and Millipede. Yeah, and the obvious Tetris that came on Game Boy. I'm fairly certain both of those were cartridges that my brother owned, and I don't know which ones that I actually owned on the original Game Boy. Right up until Pokemon came out, I got blue, he got red. He drew the short straw on that one. Sorry.
It doesn't really make a
Blue's
difference
the best
between-
one.
No, it doesn't make a difference with blue and red. It's like if you got YOLO. No, if he got YOLO.
Yeah, you can't say anything about pronunciation when you say yellow is YOLO.
It's YOLO.
You
Yeah,
just
you
said
said it.
YOLO.
You just
said
said
that
YOLO.
before.
Yeah, if you got YOLO, I just said that on purpose. Yellow.
YOLO.
If he got yellow and you got blue.
Nah. No, I think so. Our birthdays are about 3 weeks apart, and I got blue on my birthday, and on my birthday he also got red, so that we both got them at the same time. It was here is Thomas's birthday present, blue, on my birthday, and here is your advanced birthday present, red, so that we could play together and
Not fight.
trade and all those good things. I don't think we fought very much, but
Because
we,
you both got them at the same time. Like, imagine if only
Right.
one of you had got them.
I was thinking about with the old connection cable and
Yeah.
that sort of magic. Fond memory of, I don't know which one of us, probably at different points in time, both of us being on the toilet and the other one standing the other side of the door, link cables connecting the Game Boys together and battling or trading or something like that.
Link cable was the jam.
It was a jam. Didn't have a PS1, and obviously, like before that, didn't have any other kind of console in the house, so
What was your
missed
first
those.
console? PS3.
No, so the first console, well, I got a Game Boy Advance after that, if I can carry on down my notes.
Just let him get.
Let him go.
Got for the grandparents from Christmas. F-Zero was a big one, and that's why I quite enjoyed playing it earlier on the stream on the SNES. You making enough noise
fucking hell,
over in the
Jack.
kitchen there, Jack? Yep.
No, he did not. He did not make enough noise.
F-Zero was a good one. Going to play more of that. Golden Sun, actually.
Yes.
I
is
love
a
Golden
Sun.
fantastic
It
Game
was
Boy Advance game.
JRPG.
Yeah, JRPG. Golden Sun 1 and
Legend
2
of Dragoon.
has at least partially been the catalyst for one of the great friendships that I had in my life with and I'm not allowed to name him because he's not my named friend.
Yep.
So
Yep.
on the
not
podcast
Scott.
we
He's
have
not Scott.
one named friend each that we're allowed to talk about by name. Scott is my one who owned a PS1 and he will come up soon. But
Give him a shout out.
Hey Ran, I'll give you a shout out. You're never going to watch this. Yeah, he also loved Golden Sun. As I say, Scott had a PS1, got me into Gran Turismo 2. got me into GTA 2 on
Crazy, that was
PS1.
London, wasn't it? Or was GTA London like the middle one?
London was like a-
London was like a mini one. Like it was like like Vice City stories.
I think
current.
I think 1, 2, and London all came out on PS1.
were in it,
But-
Yeah, they're all out on the same system. Yeah. Okay.
It's the same engine as
PC.
and I don't remember what Christmas it was, but the Christmas where PlayStation 2 was affordable and it became everybody's DVD player, we got one for Christmas. But the story goes, Dad bought the PlayStation 2 for himself, essentially, because everybody knows from our top 5 artists and albums episode, Paul Weller is my favourite. I've inherited that from Dad, who in 2001, I think it might have been, or 2002, bought Paul Weller's Illumination, which came with a DVD. He didn't have a DVD player, needed one. Instead of buying an exclusive DVD player, bought a PS2. Didn't tell Mum, kept the PlayStation 2 in the boot of his car for about a fortnight before Christmas, wrapped in newspaper. And then on Christmas morning, all of the presents are unwrapped, everything is done, we're ready to start having lunch or whatever it is, and Dad goes, I've got one more thing. Grabs his car keys, runs out to the car, and I vividly remember, like,
Standard video game press conference call that one.
One more thing.
the diagonal rip across the newspaper that he'd wrapped this box in to reveal PlayStation 2 across the PlayStation box, and we sort of lost our shit about that. And that's where, like, console games at home really picked up for me. Great time with Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec. So it was the bundle, I'm sure somebody can tell us when it came out, with Gran Turismo A-Spec, Tekken Tag, and...
Tekken.
You guys are gonna pull me on the
Tekken. Sorry, we're pulling him up now.
No, we call him.
Tekken. Do you mean Tekken?
Nah. And and Spider-Man on DVD. I'm sure that was a thing over in Australia with those 3 things that came.
I remember
came
Spider-Man on
packaged together.
DVD with it.
makes
I
sense.
remember
Spider-Man
that one.
on DVD and those other 2
It is
games.
a Sony thing.
And Tekken.
Yeah, it is a Sony thing. Yeah, they all came together so that Dad could watch
Who's
this.
your favourite Tekken character?
I don't know.
Yoshimitsu.
I didn't even do much with that game apart from
Not learn
set
his name.
shortcuts for combinations to like the triggers, so you could get away with not doing stuff and not learning combinations. Just go like R2, and it did the square down and square, blah 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 blah, and do the cool moves.
That's cheating.
That's cheating.
Might be. I don't care for fighting
Might
games.
be.
It's permissible in the game. So.
Yeah, they let you away with it. Yep, I ended up renting at one point God of War, the first one. Had it overnight, played it, loved it. After my exams of 5th form, maybe, went to buy God of War 1, and the person at the shop, God of War 2 had recently come out, so I went to buy 1 in a PS Classic sort of PS2 Classic silver case or whatever it was, and went to buy that, and the person at the shop put in the God of War 2 disc in the God of War 1 case, because the only difference of the two was like the Roman numeral 2 in ginormous font on the background. That got me into God of War. God of War 3 is the reason I bought my PS3 with the Pandora's box. Having not finished 2 or whatever, didn't know quite how to open Pandora's box. So when I was smashed and brought that thing home, like ripping away at the top of this thing, trying to get it off, I didn't break it. I didn't go hard enough to break it, but it took me a while to figure out that you slide the lid backwards and it comes out with
What's this Pandora's box thing?
God of War thing. God of War 3,
Like a collectible?
you've God of War 3 collectible special edition type thing.
Very good.
I bought a Wii U on launch day.
Terrible idea. Why would you touch that
Wow.
Fisher Price piece of crap?
So again, in the friendships episode, we talked about a person called Mark who is an astronomic cunt, and we don't have anything to do with him anymore.
Why do we name him?
Sad because you.
Because I got a dog.
What
yeah.
a cunt.
I got a dog and he stopped talking to me.
I remember
Listen to
you
that
now.
episode. But he sort of said to me, because we lived together at the time, he's like, when is the next time you're ever going to be able to buy a console on launch day? And I was like,
Any day that they want.
I was like, yeah, that's a thing. I've never been able to do that before. And I don't know if I'll ever have the money to do it again. Not like at that point, not knowing that PS4 was coming out the following year or whatever, or 18 months later. So I did it. Regret that decision. Don't have a Wii U anymore. PS4 on launch day. I love it. It's my favourite. Trophies are the jam.
Yeah.
Prior to buying the PS4, got a PS3. Got a Vita.
Yeah.
I love that.
Do you like Dynasty Warriors?
It's a great thing. Love Dynasty Warriors. Scott is the reason that I play Dynasty Warriors. There was a demo disc on PS1 for Dynasty Warriors 3. It was great. Went to buy that from EB one day, and turns out there was Dynasty Warriors 4 on PS2.
Oh, shit, son.
face.
I didn't go and buy Dynasty Warriors 3 for the PlayStation 1. No, sir.
No.
I bought the new one for the new console. Had a great time. And shout out to Red Alert on PC.
What a game!
I
What
played
a
a hell of a
game!
lot of.
Command and Conquer.
And Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah.
Which I also played a hell of a lot of on PC
Had theme
in the
park.
years between having consoles for the TV. Now I play lots of games.
Yes, you do.
Me. So first console I had was Super Nintendo. I remember it came with the Super Mario All Stars pack. So obviously, when we moved to Brisbane, I remember that was the only thing we had. We didn't have like a TV connection or anything. We didn't have an antenna on the TV, so we just played that all the time. And then I also remember my dad had he's an architect, so he did a lot of computer stuff. So he had Wolfenstein, the
3D.
first person shooter version, the original,
First 3D one.
the first 3D one.
Wolfenstein
3D.
So I would sit on the carpet behind him while I was playing on his desk. Yeah, that's definitely a memory I remember a lot. Red Alert, I remember my friend had that at his house. So I'd go sleep over at his house. I'd get up at like 5:30 in the morning so I could play it while he was asleep. Because I'm that kind of a person.
Was that the only reason you went there?
No, he was a good dude.
He was
And
an
also
okay
had
dude?
GoldenEye.
He also had GoldenEye. Okay, fair
And
enough.
he had like a massive TV, which is unexpected at the time.
Probably like a 52 centimeter bad
yeah,
boy.
like
Yeah,
a huge
yeah.
thing. It's like
It was like
It
a.
wasn't a round number on a 0 or a 5. It was something strange because
yeah, I don't know. It was
that's how the 90s worked.
something that was shipped on a boat from China or something
It had like 10 people
at the
carry
time.
it.
Because yeah,
Yeah.
and it was upstairs. That doesn't make
Urination.
sense.
Wow, that's incredible.
What?
Sorry?
Yeah. Okay. We had Super Nintendo. The only other memory I just played a bunch of random games. I think we'd always go to the video store and rent games. We rented 2 games that we never ever returned.
What?
What a champ!
You fucking
That's how you do it. Suck it, Video Easy. That's why you went out of business.
Do you want to hear what classics they were?
Yeah, go on.
Was it
Galaga.
Taken.
Yeah, flaming.
Was it Tekken and Galaga?
No.
YOLO.
The Page Master game.
Oh, that was my jam when I was a kid. That movie. I don't know about the. I didn't know there was a
Macaulay
game.
Culkin.
What
yeah.
is the game?
Page Master. I didn't know there was a
That
game
sounds
for it.
so familiar to the point where I swear we've got it on
It's like-
VHS. but my
Yes,
sister
you will have.
wanted it.
It has
and I never
Christopher
watched
Lloyd.
it.
Has Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher
in it,
Lloyd
and
in it,
Macaulay
yeah.
Culkin.
It's all these
and he
books.
starts with like
Animated
God.
books.
And he starts like the start of it's like him riding in the rain in like this like yellow like raincoat and shit. He-
Page Master.
Oh,
yeah, that's the Page Master.
It's all
Yeah,
yeah,
a cartoon. It's like
Yeah,
Dr.
that's the-
Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
yeah, that's
Page- is
Page.
that what it's
That's
called?
Page
Page
Master.
Master?
Yeah.
Oh, that's called something else.
I used to call it when I was a kid. I used to call it the masked pager for some reason, and my parents would used to laugh at me until I was 10. But yeah, that.
Remember the never-ending story?
they're still laughing at you, Kieran. Don't worry.
Damn it!
Master Page.
These people know them
Only
now.
now you won't hear them that you've moved
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Now that I've moved out, they can.
Dashgamer.com says, Hobley, if you're going to steal games, make it good ones. Yeah.
Wait, the second game, Power Rangers.
Thanks, Blue Tricks.
Power Rangers.
On what console?
On Super Nintendo.
Fucking gone.
Go, Power Rangers. What was the game? Was that
Yeah,
beat 'em up?
Yeah, it was just like a side-scrolling
say?
beat 'em
What'd
up.
you
It was. We weren't very good at it.
Yeah, cool.
Other mem- Yeah. What?
Get good is what I said.
Oh, that's fair. Then also all through primary school we played Age of Empires.
Yeah,
Like
who didn't?
at the school they had
Oh,
them
yeah.
installed
Yep.
in the last day of
Yep.
year 7.
Cereal box?
We played on LAN, like all like 8 people.
Was that your graduation? Was that what you-
Like, it was like the last day, just Everybody stayed after school.
Fees.
Yeah. Also, demo disc is a huge thing in my. Yeah, so like a bunch of PC ones that didn't work because the computers
the right PC
didn't have a
for it.
PC. Obviously, PS2. I remember playing Shadow of the Colossus on demo disc when I eventually got my PS2, and a bunch of like Mashed and a bunch of other different weird games. PS2. Only reason I got that is so I could see Bulletproof Punk on DVD.
Sean William Scott.
Sean William Scott, Jamie King, Shay on Fat. It's a good movie.
Shout out to
It's not.
Stifler.
Yeah,
That's
his
Stifler's
career
mum.
really went off, didn't it?
Where is
Shout out to Stifler's mum.
I said that.
Oh, I think you said shout out to
I did. I said
Stifler.
shout out to Stifler and Stifler's
Oh.
mum.
Jono said
I was
it. That's why I was
gonna
like,
say. I was gonna
I like Stifler.
She's a good actress.
That's exactly why he said it.
say. I don't remember the actress.
Her name, I can't remember her name right now.
You remember parts of
She's
the
well
actress?
established.
I don't even remember parts of the actress.
Oh, hey Antonio, sorry.
Love you, Antonio.
So PS2, bunch of like I have two brothers.
Yes, you
Bunch of sports games.
I had 3 or
3 or
Well,
2.
I had 2 brothers at the time.
Okay.
That makes.
That was really confusing.
There is a younger brother.
I've
since.
talked about this a lot.
Yeah, but
With
I had
36 episodes
I had 3 or 2 depending on.
on the time period.
Yeah, depending on
Ash forgets
what
how old
year
he
it
is.
was.
He forgets how many brothers he's got.
Yeah.
We started Ash claiming he was 27, and then like 3 weeks
28.
28.
No, I was 29 and I was 28 at the time.
Cora 96
I don't know, he
in
got
the
his
chat
age
said
wrong
about
anyway.
the did anyone get the Age of Empires in the Nutrigrain box?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cora
Shut
96,
it.
we're with you, mate. We're with you.
Shout out to Age of Empires. Like, that was a point where I just didn't understand the value of things when I saw that. I was like, but Age of Empires is so good. How do I get it
in Nutrigrain?
How do I get it for free in a cereal box?
Yeah.
Like, I'm used to finding the shittiest plastic,
Yeah.
useless piece of shit toys, and then all of a sudden I'm given something that I've played at my friend's house and absolutely fucking love. What is going wrong in the world? Like,
It still doesn't make sense.
Does anyone remember the other games? Because they did.
There was one of them was like Toy Story 2, the game or some crap.
Age of Empires was the only one that
It was
That's
only
only
like
who cares.
that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I-
I'm excited
I've-
for that.
I have a funny Age of Empires story. I used to, when you were saying about how you used to go to your
Who's
mate's
talking
house
about
and play
Red Alert, yeah.
the Red Alert, I'd same thing, go to a mate's place and play Age of Empires, except I would just watch him play.
Yeah.
So I would go there and we'd be like, oh, I have dinner or whatever, and he'd be like plonk in front of his computer and I would sit there and watch him. I'm like, can I have a turn? He'd be like, no, yeah, you can have the next one. No, it would never come.
You always be skirmished? Or did you
Yeah,
do
yeah.
skirmish?
No, I know he played online, but it must have
Oh,
been, might have been
okay.
skirmish.
It's
Yeah.
online, wow.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, this
Jeez,
was
back in
like,
the
yeah,
day.
yeah. This was how I got into like chat rooms and stuff because it was like the Age of Empires chat rooms. Like
Yeah.
ASL,
Chat rooms.
ASL, add me to MSN,
Yeah.
add me to MSN.
and you're a pervert, but that's
Private.
Obviously.
Hey, are we still on Kind of Funny?
No, we finished at 8. We're back on at 9.
That's
Cool.
Back on at
We had
9.
a good run. We
For
still-
Quiplash.
We did have a great run. I
got
was,
back in, yeah.
I thought that I should say thank you goodbye to Kind of Funny, and then I looked at it, it was like 2004.
Yeah.
Okay, fuck that.
Yeah, they left a little while ago.
We still have 71 viewers though.
We're still
Oh,
live.
yeah.
You guys don't matter to Tom.
Don't forget the 4K updates. It's coming real soon.
I was going to say a thank you goodbye to those bonus
they'll be
people
back.
we gained.
We still have a lot of
They'll be
people
back.
watching.
And in greater numbers.
Anyway,
God.
Game Boy Advance, a lot of Pokemon, a lot of Advance Wars.
Yes!
Advance Wars is best.
Can't go back and play it now.
What? You can't go back?
Yeah.
Nah, not now.
Too much tapping.
Advance Wars is great.
Then obviously San Andreas on GTA.
On GTA.
On GTA, yeah. We had Grand Theft Auto 2 on the laptops at school, and we'd play it. We had like a gifted and
That
talented
doesn't
program.
sound like an appropriate school
Yeah,
thing.
we play that during
On the
class.
gifted and talented program.
Yeah, on the gifted program.
Right.
And then we'd play it, and then when the teacher would come around, we'd just minimize it.
Alt-tab
Tab.
away. Yeah.
Alt tab.
Genius.
N was a game we
Thank
used
you.
to do with that. NIT. Yeah,
Is
please.
there any softies?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a softie.
What do you want?
You got Coke Zero or something like that?
Still Pepsi, right?
Yeah, I've got a Coke Zero in now. I'll refill this with something.
Thanks, man.
What
else,
else? What else? Obviously, Guitar Hero.
Obviously.
Obviously, Guitar Hero. That was a big thing. Easy.
It's a big social
A
thing.
lot of social things. I played a couple of manager games that I talked about in Grandstand Gurus, sports stuff.
Yeah.
Grandstand Gurus.
Sports podcast on the Explosion Network.
ExplosionNetwork.com. Then PS3 came along. I finally got it after one of the white goods places was shutting down, so I got hugely discounted. Finally played Uncharted, so I played all 3 Uncharted back to back to back. That was awesome. Obviously, Ratchet and Clank is huge. Huge.
Here's the thing that's pissed me off for a very long time.
Oh, here we go.
You're allowed to just say back to back for things that you've done more than one. I watched 7 movies back to back. You don't have to say I watched 7 movies back to back to back to back until you get to 7. Just say back to back and everyone knows what you're fucking talking about.
Oh my god.
That's not just you. It's not just
I
you.
said back to back to back.
You said back to back to back for 3 games, but I know that Tim does it a lot. Tim does a lot of back to back to back, and I'm like, you motherfucker.
Or doesn't say it?
Only need to say it once. You did all 3 back to back. Jesus.
That's insane. That's such a Tom complaint.
I'm glad that it took Tom flying to another country and drinking however many beers
Four.
For him to share that.
for him to finally express
To
that.
admit that.
PS3, yep. This PS4 I got for free because I signed up for a phone plan.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah, with Sony. I got a Sony Xperia and they gave me a free
Yeah.
PS4.
Was this around launch?
PS4
Yeah,
or
I think it
PS3?
was maybe a year after launch.
PS3 or PS4?
PS4.
PS4, wow.
I just found something awesome, considering what we've been talking about.
Bulldogs coaster, I don't know what.
Not that, no, sorry, not the coasters. Not the coasters.
Demo disc?
My first ever video game. This is the first ever video
Is
game
that
I ever
Galaga?
played.
Why was it just sitting with coasters?
It was in my Game Boy.
It was
Why
in
was
your Game Boy.
with the coasters?
It's on my desk. The coasters were on my desk.
Wait,
Galaga.
is that Galaga?
That is the first video game I ever played. That is
Galaxian.
Galaga and Galaxian. Or
Galaga.
Galaga and Galaxian, whatever you want to call it. That is the first video game I ever played.
Cool.
That is the reason we are here. No shit. None of us would be here without that.
We wouldn't be here.
Well, I'd be
We
here.
could start a network of that.
Oh, okay.
At Jack's
But you
place.
wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here without this.
I don't know where we would be.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
Probably
Shout
somewhere.
out.
Is
Was
this
it
Space
Capcom?
Invaders?
A pub.
It's not Capcom. I can't remember. Anyway,
Anyway.
okay, classics.
Anyway.
Galaga, Galaxian.
I think
I covered. Kieran, hopefully you get through yours with fewer interruptions.
Yeah.
It's bound to happen.
I'm gonna do
Yeah,
one so
New
fucking
Grounds
fast.
is the bomb.
Okay,
Super Beast.
so I think mine started. I'm a lot younger than people here, so
Tell us how old you are.
I'm 23.
What?
So my first console that I can ever remember is a PS1. Is that, and I've spoken about it to these guys at least before. My gaming passion comes from my dad. Still to this day, Dad.
Super nice guy.
Super lovely, super English.
Yeah.
What was the quote? He's a Kieran that can do stuff.
He's a Kieran he's me who's capable who can to do stuff.
He's capable.
He's capable. But no, even to this day, Dad still gets up like an hour before work to play PlayStation. He's currently fucking out Tom. He's currently playing through Wolfenstein. So I used to remember what a boss. No, Wolfenstein 2. It's the newest one.
The new Colossus.
Does that mean that you don't have to buy as many games because he buys them and you get...
No, generally I'm buying it. Generally,
He's stealing your
he
game.
he shares in my games, but I guess it's point of me paying back now for being.
I was gonna say it's like a symbiotic relationship because you don't pay rent or something like.
Well, I don't live
didn't-
there anymore, so.
Just moved out.
And
this
so
week.
my earliest memories were being shit scared watching my dad play Resident Evil 2. Like late at night, and I was only maybe 5 or 6 tops.
You probably shouldn't have been.
I should not have been watching that. And I remember nightmares and I inherited that PS1 from him when he got a PS2. And I don't think my parents really... Well, Dad probably understood. My mum didn't really understand what games were appropriate for a child of my age at the time. Because the first game I got given as part of him giving me a PS1 was Duke Nukem... No, it was Duke Nukem... Fucking hell.
Land of the Babes.
General Customer.
Land of the
Land of the Babes.
Duke Nukem 3, Land of the Babes.
I fucking hate that.
And I was
Is
like...
that the third person one?
Yes,
Oh,
yeah.
that was fucking garbage.
It was garbage. I didn't know about it, but it was highly inappropriate for me.
because it's a bad game.
It's highly and like. So I remember
A game that would not come out.
no, would not have made it. So
Duke Nukem soundboard.
Was that like Duke Nukem 3D?
no,
Like
Duke
right
Nukem
now?
3, Land of the Babes.
Because Duke Nukem 3 was a game that my dad used to play a lot on a
Yeah.
Saturday morning, and we would watch on PC. Fantastic.
So we
It
had
was something that he would do when he was in trouble.
so I inherited that and became a Sony boy. With my dad.
Pony.
Other than that, I used to always remember Dad is also the reason why I play adventure games like Broken Sword. There was the Indiana Jones games I can remember. No, not Myst. I remember Maniac Mansion. All those kind of point-and-click games we really loved. So I used to play the crap out of them on Dad's PC when he wasn't around.
Pouring out for the homie.
Was it Fate of
I'll
Atlantis?
pull one out right here.
Yeah, Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis.
That was
Yeah,
almost it was like a rejected movie script.
Yeah,
That was
definitely.
An awesome story, like awesome. Story.
yeah, definitely. So we played through all that, and then I pretty much was just getting hand-me-downs at the time. So I got Dad's PS2 when he bought a slim one, and then so on and so forth until I remember when I moved to Australia. Because if you viewers, listeners. I'm English. I moved here. You wouldn't hear it anymore. Not in this place.
Not at all.
No, governor. Shine your shoes.
Mary Poppins.
I moved here when I was fucking hell.
Spoonful of
Shut up,
sugar
guys.
makes me
Let's let this go
Kieran's
through.
talking.
Let's let this go through. All right, you good?
For now.
For now? All right. So I moved here when I was 13, and I remember because the way when we moved was we could only take so much stuff on a plane, and then the rest of it got shipped over
I remember that.
on a boat. And Dad actually gave up part of his suitcase so he could bring my PS2 with some games and stuff for me. And so that was with me. But then,
MVP.
yeah, he's the guy. And then number 3. And then we had that was when come get some. That's when we.
Where I live.
Different game.
That's a different
my
game,
God.
but it just reminds me
Yeah.
of game's good.
And then I remember when I was in high school then in year 8,
St. John.
my friends and I started to go to a gaming cafe where we used to do, we used to play games all night from like midnight to 8 in the morning every Friday. And my mum and dad didn't know about that. Because they were like, nah, you're not going to do something. So my sister knew, used to tell them I was going to my best friend's house. I'd get dropped off at my best friend's house and then walk down the street to the gaming cafe. If you're listening to this, parents, wow, you're listening to content that I make. That's amazing.
And you made it an hour and a half in?
An hour and a half in. That's impressive. Good job.
We gotta wait till Kieran starts talking.
Yeah, you got to wait till me. Yeah, so I used to go there, and that's when I
Well, they
was...
skipped it all.
Yeah, they skipped it all, jumped to me. And then that's when I learned, that's where I grew my love for PC. And I played a lot of PC games there. We used to play, Dota. That's where I learned Dota and got into MOBAs. Age of Empires, Command and Conquers.
Yeah.
I used to remember they opened up and I got an Xbox pretty soon after that.
Yeah.
They opened up like an Xbox lounge. Xbot, Unite. I got into a game. They opened up an Xbox 360 gaming lounge. We used to do this thing in Halo 3 called Infection. So I don't know if anybody played it. These were rules. I don't know how they came up with this, but we used to play. It used to be like full map, like 10 players. One person would start off as a zombie. The zombie would have a sword and be like no gravity and super speed. And it was one-shot kills.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, like Friday the 13th, but once you died, you became a zombie with it. And it was, I used to waste so much time playing those games. So I guess games then became something that was super social for me. So I, got a PC, got an Xbox 360. And now to this day, I always go out of my way to own every console. And be a part of as many gaming experiences as
By
possible.
Wii U?
I did not, because I bought a Wii and I was like, no. Well, all the ones that
He's got every console now.
current consoles, I've got every console.
Have you got a Ouya?
What's the fuck's an Ouya?
What is it?
Android-based.
It's an Ouya.
Have you got an
console.
Nvidia Shield?
No.
Is Is that a
Stop naming console. Okay, I got the main ones now. And I guess and still today I thank my dad for playing games, and I don't feel so bad when he gets me up in the morning and goes, "Hey, can you just come do this boss battle for me?"
Is that how he says it? Or he says, "Hey, dickhead, come do this boss battle for me."
That's pretty much he generally throws me out of bed, and then that's definitely it. So, okay.
Are you gonna miss it?
Yes or no. He'll still call me and be like, "Oi, dickhead, come over and do this for me." And I'm fucking hell.
Is this because he can't beat the bosses?
There's sometimes where he plays games on easy because he prefers the narrative of games now, and he sucks really badly because of his reflexes now. Sucks really badly at quick time events and stuff like that. Like he's terrible at them.
He needs to play girlfriend mode.
So he.
Oh man!
Oh
To
god.
see Viva Ladell's face right now.
Dylan's off screen.
He's
but
off
you know what he's
screen.
doing.
You know what he's doing? He's just shaking his head.
His eyes have rolled so far back in his head that he can't.
He looks like he's
Hey, blame
orgasming.
Randy Pitchford for that.
And that's where we're at. So that's why I'm here.
We're
Thanks.
glad
Cool.
you're here, Kieran.
Are we
Yeah,
gonna
we're
go?
very happy you're
Just
here.
fuck it, Nick. What are you
Glad
doing?
you're here.
Thanks,
Thank you
Nick.
for sharing.
Thank you.
Hey Nick, what was your journey to Tarkov?
How did you get to escape from Tarkov?
Well,
He
my
bought a
first
PC.
console, which wasn't mine, it was my dad's. It was a Commodore 64. Used to love playing North versus South and Hostage on it. They were the only games I remember. And then I got a. Then we got a second-hand from a cousin, the Sega with Alex the Kid on it, built into it.
Nice.
I'm not sure
That's
what
like
one
that's
that
the
was.
Master System.
Master System,
Yeah.
yeah. And then
Built-in games.
yeah, that's crazy now.
It is a.
Then I got a Game Boy, the big chunky one. It was clear. I just
I
remember
had a
looking
clear
at
one,
cool,
yeah.
looking at all the circuitry and stuff in there. And
And that's why you became an electrical scientist.
well, the Mario game I got with that was, I can't remember what it was, but it starts off in like an Egypt themed level, and I never got past it.
Yeah, my brother had that one as well.
Yeah. And
It'd be like Super Mario World.
Was it like
Land?
3 or
Super
something?
Mario
I don't
Land?
remember.
I've got
it,
no
it just
idea
started
either.
with a because I remember jumping over sphinxes and stuff like that, shooting
Considerable.
fireballs. Then we got a Nintendo 64. My uncle bought it for me.
Because so he doesn't get too drunk.
We got that, 2 controllers.
He's already a bit. Not crazy.
One of them was a clear purple one. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
What a
That
controller.
was the cool one.
That was
yeah.
a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
The crystal. That was the first crystal controller.
Yeah, it was fucking great. We got Aero Gauge, and which was kind of like an F-Zero type thing, and then GoldenEye. Loved GoldenEye. We spent countless hours playing that.
Yeah.
I was always on job.
That's not a game. That is a game that I have not played.
Really?
Wow.
Does not
It
hold
doesn't-
up.
yeah, it doesn't
You've
play
never,
that at all.
you've never
It's of the
experienced
time.
frustration until your friend picks Oddjob and is just the
I was
biggest
always on
douchebag.
job.
Of course you were.
Of course you were Rainbow Road. Jesus.
There's track of
Oddjob and Jaws were just no-goes. No.
nah, and
Paintball mode.
then I remember
Lots of mini lines.
we always had a PC growing up, so I would always play games on that, like Doom and Wolfenstein, Age of Empires, and I always remember
Minesweeper.
Minesweeper, yeah.
Shout out to Minesweeper.
What is it, Microsoft Golf, and
To this day, I
It's
don't
in
know how
the
to
rough.
play Minesweeper.
So I worked this out recently, and I was quite proud of myself to learn how to play Minesweeper.
I've read instructions and I still
Minesweeper's
can't work
great. No, I love Minesweeper.
The numbers,
And I
man,
always
how many
remember
bombs
getting
are
a,
near that square.
It was like an
How many
adventure
bombs are
game.
touching this?
Yeah.
It was an adventure game from Macca's that I got, but it was a
Mission to McDonald's Land?
No.
Oh god, that's a game that I
too,
got.
but it was a Goosebumps one. It was Escape from Horrorland.
Escape from home.
Yeah,
I see a
that
theme
scared
of-
the fuck out of me.
See a theme of games that start with escape from.
Maybe that's where it all started. Then our next console was a PS2. I always remember being torn, me and my brother choosing
Natalie
like,
and Brilliant.
were we gonna get a
right.
were we always gonna get a we're always going to get either a GameCube or a PS2, and I think all the kids at school convinced me to get a PS2 because my friends had PS1s and stuff like that. So yeah,
Cool kids.
Yeah, and my first introduction to Metal Gear was Metal Gear Solid 2. which I adored. Like, I remember going to a school friend's place, and her older brother had it, and he lent it to me, and I never gave it back to him. The same thing happened with Metal Gear Solid 3 too. I never gave that back to him either.
Metal Gear.
Yeah, I didn't go back to play Metal Gear until like on the Vita.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it.
I've
but
got it
just,
on the Vita too.
yeah, it wasn't the same as what the experience I got with Metal Gear Solid 2.
The story holds up, I reckon.
Yeah,
As well,
No,
so-
I always remember I got the bad ending where Meryl dies.
Yeah.
I had a friend
Not,
when I
not
was.
canon.
Yeah.
Not canon.
Not canon.
I had a-
I've had both. I've had
Yeah,
both.
I've had both.
Spoilers.
Oh, that's right. You never.
But you're incentivized to play both because you can get the stealth camo and the bandana. But
You're not doing yours?
You're not doing yours? We'll pick yours up later. Very
Okay,
quickly,
yeah.
I had a friend when I was younger,
Yeah.
brought his PS1 round to my house
Is
to
it-
play games. No, he
What's
was
the
good.
features?
He was supposed to for the weekend. He wouldn't
Yeah.
because he claimed it needed a day to warm up once plugged into the TV. Like his
Yeah.
mum told him that. I wouldn't have taken. It was fucked.
Madam?
Yeah, it's 7 to 9 this slot.
Yeah,
another half hour.
yeah,
9.
yeah.
Yeah, Dylan. Stop trying to squirm out of the episode.
We're 7 till 9. We never stop on our half hour.
I'll do Dylan's for him.
Alright, go for it.
Yeah, and then
Finish, Nick.
I played
yeah,
Social
after
Justice
P-
Warrior
I got
27.
a plethora of PS2 games. I always remember the worst thing. The thing that turned me off trading in games was I got, what was it? It was GTA San Andreas, but I traded in 4 games. It was some Ninja Light Gun game, Kingdom Hearts,
Great game.
Medal of Honor,
Frontline?
whatever. Yeah, that one on
Airborne.
PS2.
Frontline?
And another one, and I remember buying back like 3 of the 4 games.
Yeah. I've done that. I probably
That
own-
doesn't
I
sound
probably
at all
own-
like you. I bought Destiny 3 times.
I reckon I own like half a dozen games that I originally bought and then
Yeah.
traded in, like rebought them down
Yeah.
the track. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
The worst part is looking at your shelf. You rebought the like silver boxed like essentials edition, and they look terrible in a
No,
collection.
no. Oh, yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
And during all this time, I had a Game Boy, then a Game Boy Advance. No, Game Boy Color, then Game Boy Advance. I had
I
the
got it.
Australian themed
got it?
Game Boy Color. There was
Tom's
gold,
on it.
green and gold.
Yep.
And then PS3. We got a PS3. Dad got it on launch. It was meant to be a Christmas present, but then it got delayed.
Worst Christmas ever.
Yeah.
Why
Well,
would Sony do that to you?
I
They
know.
delayed the PS3.
Yeah, it was meant to come out before, like in November or something, and then it got delayed to like March.
And then it
They had
came
to bring the price down a little bit.
a little bit to like
No,
$900.
It was $999. I'm pretty sure.
Fuck, that was.
It was meant to be a conjoined present with me and my brother. I love the PS3. Metal Gear Solid 4 is one of my favourite games ever. And then when I started working, I bought my first proper gaming PC. I love that.
Nerd.
I've bought every Battlefield game since release.
I don't have a new one.
I've just been. It's just always something to do with PC gaming that I've always been drawn to. Like
I don't have a new one.
I've always loved like tactical shooters, like Rainbow Six type of games, and I love the Stalker series. That series just resonated with me so much. And
Stalker. I didn't even
Stalker.
Yes,
Is that the acronym?
it's
I never finished any of them.
It's set in like the semi-near future in the Chernobyl zone where there's like all mutants and monsters and
What
anomalies.
does Stalker
and stuff.
stand for?
I wouldn't know.
It's like special.
It's based off
Strategic,
The
tactical,
R
action.
might be radiation.
They're really
based
good
off
games. They're pretty as fuck.
a book called A Walk in the
Robot.
Park. It's a Russian book. And then PS4, love that. And then my PC gaming died, and I never really had the money to upgrade it until.
And then you got a credit card this year and you bought another PC.
No, I actually paid for it in cash.
Whoa!
Cash Robbo.
You are Rob
Then
Stacey.
we bought a Switch on launch for Stacey. She plays that a lot more than what I do.
Whenever I look at her profile compared to yours, it's like 70 hours in this. 60 hours in this. I'm like, Stacey's putting in fucking time.
Yeah, she loves that.
Putting in the work one. would
Putting
say.
in work.
And then I bought my gaming PC and I found Escape from Tarkov, which is
How did you find Escape from
I've always like
Forum.
before
Random message
before I
forum.
had PC, my second gaming PC, I just watching YouTube videos of it and like, oh, this game looks fucking cool, and then I got it and then I fell in love with it.
Okay, how did you find it on YouTube then?
I don't know, I just come up and like recommend videos.
Tell us what this game is, too.
This game. Okay.
Escape from Tarkov.
At the moment, it's still
Sell
like
us on
early
Escape from
access
Tarkov.
in beta. So At the moment,
So it can't be
is-
game of the year. Well, you can get it for next year then.
Yeah, it will be.
Already.
So basically, you have a character which is the story is you're
escaping from Tarkov?
Essentially, yes.
I thought so.
Tarkov is a city in Russia. So basically,
Why do we?
Of course it is.
it's developed by Russian developers.
Okay.
So the story is that you're part of this one of two PMC companies which were in a war, and then something happened. I'm not entirely sure.
Putin.
It's all in Russian.
You got it's in English. You got abandoned by your companies and.
Is it in Google Translate English?
No. Yeah. Part of one or two PMC companies, and you've been abandoned by your company, so you got to escape.
Interesting.
But at the moment, it's you got your PMC character and everything.
What is that acronym?
Private military.
Private military company.
So like mercenaries.
You've never played Metal Gear 4.
Yeah, it's a first.
Inventory management.
Basically, it's hardcore of hardcore.
Yeah.
It's
It's
so
like
everything
PUBG,
you take at the moment it's separated. All the maps are separated into raids, so you go in, get loot, and get out, and everything you take in when you die, you lose. So you go in and get all your gear, escape, go in with friends and whatnot. And then you've also got a scav faction, which is like the AI, but there's also player scavs that can spawn in, and that's like a character you go in and they give you loot, and that's what you got. Like you don't lose anything off your main character when you do that. So basically, at the moment, it's just like a loot shooter, kind of like Destiny. But eventually, when it's the full game, it'll be like all the maps are joined into one, and your job is to like get out of Tarkov, and you got like hard hideouts, and you got to craft and do survival and all that kind of stuff. But at the moment, they're just working out the mechanics and testing like server loads and all that kind of stuff.
Why do you think this has hooked you so much?
I don't know. It's just
Is this going to be a big game when it comes out?
I doubt it's going to be huge.
Will it come up on like this week?
Oh,
Is it one of those?
Is it objectively good?
Oh yeah, it's fantastic tactical. Like the gameplay is phenomenal. Like it's unmatched in any tactical type of realistic shooter I've played. It's just that they're plagued by bugs and stuff now. Of course, being in beta and all that kind of
I'll point out, Nick is the only person I've ever heard to talk about this game.
Yeah, literally the only
They-
person.
In the history of time.
And I roam around play like PC forums and stuff, but
I've watched his.
It'd be funny if you like typed it into Twitter and the only result was Nick.
Yeah.
Escape from
Tarkov. The only thing is hashtag Nick's mini reviews.
Escape from Tarkov. Escape from Tarkov game. Escape from Tarkov. Nicholas Pryor.
It's not a bad, like, from what I've watched.
It's a very acquired taste. It's very frustrating inducing.
It doesn't look like my type of game. Too much inventory management for my liking.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, you find what you love and you fucking double down on that and have a great time.
Damn straight.
That's great.
My go, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you want to chat?
Swap out, sit down. Tell me how you got 3,000 platinum trophies.
Well, I didn't start.
Tell us about your feelings.
how does each platinum make you feel?
I can just start at like my first console, like everyone else did. If you
And
like.
how does that make you feel?
Why am I getting like
Psychoanalyzed.
Yeah.
Because these things.
Did Nick stream this game? He has many times,
He
I
has
believe.
many
Yeah, he has a lot.
Nick's Nonsensical Wednesdays. Stay tuned.
happens.
12 till 3 sometimes.
Dylan, I'm interested in you and your gaming history.
Oh yeah, Tom's
Because
hosting.
apparently I'm still hosting. This is going to end up a podcast.
Yeah.
I've been to the bathroom 3
Have
times
fun.
now.
Good luck. HFGL, as Jack would say. Bye, mate.
I think you would say that and Jack would go, what was that acronym?
Oh yeah. See you later, mate. Thanks for dropping by.
I wish you would have answered my question, but see ya.
Can someone tell me what HLGL means?
Have fun, good luck.
See you, mate.
Good to see you, buddy.
God. This is my favourite stream of anyone. Just because of that moment.
Fucking ruined.
Okay, my first console was the PS1, which my dad got, and
Youngins,
the first
yes.
game was Need for Speed. Need for Speed was probably the first game I played. The original.
Did he get it
Need
for you for like
No, he got it for himself.
Underground.
He got it for himself.
man.
Underground.
I remember playing, one of my earliest memories of my first house was playing Need for Speed with my dad, and he, like, I thought that it was like press X to go faster, like it was that whole little thing like that. I'm trying to press X down so
Yeah, you
fucking
push it
hard.
so hard.
that
Yeah.
Thank you, Antonio, for your kind donation.
Oh, thank you, Antonio.
Antonio Figueroa.
Come on.
Antonio Figueroa. Kind of Wrestling. If you're into wrestling, head over to Kind of Wrestling on Facebook and join that
If
group.
you're 9 foot tall, join the 9 foot tall club with him.
Him and Jaden.
Yeah, you and Jaden would be very good friends.
Jaden Pryor.
You like staying in the same.
You were both in the same hemisphere.
They can talk to each other without bending over. Anyway,
I'm sorry, what?
like they don't have to like bend down to talk to shorter people.
They
That's-
don't have to give reach around.
That's not how I took that. I might
I'm
or
sorry.
might not edit this out. But
That was.
Yeah.
That
You're
was
not going to edit.
You're not going to
You're not
edit
editing
this.
it.
You're not even going to edit
You're not
this.
going to edit this.
You don't even know how we're recording it
I
right
might
now.
do it.
You fucking don't know how to do it.
How are you going to get the audio?
I've got
Because we're not recording in
2 and a bit days. To
we're
figure
not
that
we're
out.
not recording in Audacity.
Anyway,
Fucking
not
God.
important. Continue the story.
So like I remember like racing my dad and like pressing down X so hard that I like started crying as a child because I hurt my thumb pressing down so hard because I really wanted to beat him. My first proper the first game I got there was Spyro the Dragon, and it's I remember 100%ing that game. At the end you get like a secret boss level against what the fuck was I can't even remember the name of the first boss in the original game. It wasn't Ripto and stuff.
Save the purple dragon.
Yeah, I saved all the dragons and did all that sort of stuff. Then I got a Game Boy at some stage after a Game Boy Color, the green one.
Pokemon one and I sold.
I got a. Oh yeah, fucking
you
I got the green.
idiot.
I got the green one with yellow. I got yellow, but the game it came with was Super Mario Bros. Whatever the fuck it's called. What's
You got
so funny?
you got YOLO.
If you don't laugh every time I say it, I literally cannot speak.
It's funny.
I
Just
literally
accept that
cannot
it's funny.
speak.
Just ignore our laughter.
Hold on, Jaden Pryor's back.
Oh my god! Can we
Welcome back, Jaden. We can do whatever the fuck we want. I can.
I don't know. That's it.
My house.
That's all I got. Unless you got questions. That's my early.
What?
No,
Yeah, keep
come
going.
Go to
I got
PS2,
nothing.
3, and 4.
PS2. I don't know why we got a PS2. I assume my dad got a PS2. We had one. I had Kingdom Hearts. It's probably one of my favorite games of all time. Still, Final Fantasy X, one of my favorite games of all time. PS3, I brought. I brought it the year Little Big Planet was coming out, so I think that was like year 2 of PS3 or something
Why
like
the
that.
Big Planet?
No, like I didn't get it for Little Big Planet. It's just like the time it was coming out was when Little Big Planet came out.
Yeah.
I brought it. I got like Heavenly Swords, one of my first games. Fear. I brought it for Tony Hawk's. I brought it for Tony Hawk's.
Thug?
No. It was
Underground?
something like
Eight
that.
What is it,
Project
like
eight.
American
Oh,
Wasteland?
what, American
Something like
Would
that.
have been
I brought it
American
for that. I
Wasteland.
brought it for that
Yeah.
game.
Not good.
I was a huge skater.
It was really good.
Yeah, so I wanted to play.
They weren't
fucking
great.
He was a
Yeah, they
skater boy.
Yeah, but I fucking discovered Skate on those PS3. I have a lot of fond memories of the Skate games because I fucking love those games. I wish they should actually make another one. I know it's like a huge joke. Everyone's like, make another Skate. I would actually love another Skate. Please make another Skate.
I enjoyed the skate. I played.
Better than making another Tony Hawk.
I remember it had
at this
Neil
stage.
Diamond on the
Side note, as we was talking about me being single before, my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend,
The cunt.
the cunt, she dumped me, right? We had money saved together, like proper cash.
Yeah.
She dumped me, and the money was still at my house, and we went together for a
Oh,
couple
like cash,
Like cash
inside your
cash
inside your
money.
mattress kind of thing.
Where did you hide it? Where did you hide
It was
it?
in a jar. We was like saving it at my house. We was just saving money together, and she left me, and it was like a week or 2 weeks later, and I was like, fuck it, and I used that money to buy my PS3.
What a champion! What a champion!
Yeah, like that's how I afforded it.
You must have got back together after that.
No, we got back together after that, and, and I was like,
that
I used that money we were saving to buy my PS3, and she couldn't say shit because I was like,
No.
like I was the bitch, I guess. You fucking bitch. We're not together anymore. I'm single. Hey, ladies.
Slide into Dylan's
Slide into my
DMs.
DMs. Viva la Dylan.
And Parents and Ashes.
Yeah. I got every handheld I think throughout history of time. Well, not like
Not
all
every.
variations, but I had like one of every like thing.
You've had
like,
a lot of game things.
yeah,
Like,
well, I
games
asked,
has been a
that's my
massive
birthday.
thing
It's like
for you.
Dylan, what do you want for your birthday? I was like, I want the game, like the SP. I got the GBA, and I got the SP the next year after that, and then we was on holidays. I was like, what do you want for your birthday? Because my birthday is late in the year, and that's when a lot of it is.
I thought it was January for some reason.
No, it's late in the year. I just don't give out when my birthday is.
December.
We'll find out.
You can't actually find it.
We'll find out from Shuri.
She won't tell you because
Birth certificate.
fucking kill her.
Whoa!
Wow.
Violence against women,
Australia's-
Dylan.
Maybe that's
How old are you, Dylan?
Challenge accepted.
24. He's 24. He's a year older
24.
than me.
Well, all we got to do is remember to ask him every day.
Hey, Dylan,
At one point, he's going to be 25, and we can just narrow it down.
They'll be like, Dylan, you're 25, and I'll be like, yeah, today I am. You're like, fuck, today's your birthday.
Woo!
So I had like all these things. I remember like getting I got my DS when I was on holidays. Me and my family like travelled around old Australia and was in Queensland at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that place. And then we got, I brought my DS there, and me and my brother both got them. And when we was on holidays in hotel rooms, I remember like playing heaps of Mario Kart on DS and stuff like that. PS4 was the first console I properly bought with just my money, because I used the fucking cunt's money to buy the PS3.
Nice.
Well, some of them.
When did the trophies thing happen? Because for me, it wasn't until PS4.
I'm getting to. Well, see, I think the thing with trophies is early days, I 100% Spyro straight away. I tried to 100% Mario. I've always had a thing where it's like,
Okay. Yeah, like on PS1.
I've always been like, I'll try and 100% games. When I get my PS3, I don't think I got suckered in by an easy game. I didn't care about trophies that much because I didn't really understand it.
Yeah.
You'd see these things popping, you're like, I don't know what this means. Why does it matter? I don't think I had like good internet at the time. I didn't have many people on my friends list. You're like, why do I fucking know? You didn't know about PSN profiles. You're like, now I do. I'm like, I want to be on the top 100 or that kind of thing. And then
You're like 116 at the moment.
yeah, fucking drop it.
You've had a month off.
I fucking spent too long just fucking around in Melbourne.
But you've got CSI and Wonderbook.
I got 2 easy platinums coming up.
Merry Christmas. Actually, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
I'm going to withhold them until your actual birthday. So you're going to have to tell me when your birthday is, or you're not allowed those presents.
You should tell us now on this very public forum.
No, wait. And then it was Terminator Salvation.
Yeah.
I wanted an easy platinum, and that was the first game I remember hearing online.
Why did you end up wanting an easy platinum?
I don't know.
Just to feel good about
I have
yourself.
no idea. I have no idea. I started listening. Everyone here is like, I started really getting into the game industry with Beyond or whatever, IGN.
Yeah,
stuff like that.
Beyond the game scoop.
Most of us played games young, but it's like always this weird moment where you start, you're like, I'm getting into industry properly and like listening to all this stuff and caring about stuff. I started getting into it with GameTrailers.com podcasts. Do people know who Michael Pachter is and stuff like that?
No. Right, the name is familiar, and I do know Game Trailers.
I used to watch a lot of his podcasts. He was like the kind of dude who would like try and predict how much money consoles would sell and stuff like that. And I basically watched all of Game Trailers podcasts, and all there were video ones, and then they would do these really great end of year, like top 10 games, and it was really edited well videos and stuff like that. And there was this moment where my friends who played video games, I'd try and show them these videos, and they're like, I'm not really that interested, because it's like, I'm not hardcore. Like I was going to the next level, and they weren't coming along with it.
Like the way that you would follow the movie industry.
Yeah, it's like I try to talk about movies to people, and they're like,
Did you ever play The Movies as a game on PC?
The Movies, the game? No.
There's a game about running a movie studio and you can make your own movies in it and stuff.
It's fucking
You would
weird.
have loved it.
That's fucking legendary.
Lionhead.
Huh? I know, never heard of it.
I've heard of it.
A liar.
I loved it.
I never played it, but what did you put in? Did you import videos and stuff?
No, like you had actors and you made them act out scenes. All those scenes you can mash together.
I never even played
Could you make porn?
I never.
You could make
Christ,
porn, right?
NATO,
Like,
fuck.
So yeah, I don't know. Trophies, cool. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. It's like Terminator Salvation. I remember renting, and me and my ex.
Everything's a blur since then.
Me and my ex-best friend both, like, we split the money to rent it for 2 nights or something like that.
Yeah.
And was like, night 1 we'll co-op it for your PlayStation. I took my PlayStation down to his house, and then the other night we co-op through the whole game to get him the platinum. And we did that for a bunch of other games, like Green Lantern, Rise of the Manhunters was an easy co-op platinum, and like we played for co-op Resident Evil platinum, all these sorts of games. So I probably started getting platinum tapes because me and him were co-oping a lot of platinums together, and we started getting into trophies together, I suppose. Yeah.
Is that somebody that we've heard about before?
Yeah, and I talked about him on the Best Friends episode. He's my ex-best friend. Well, I'm not as bad as him because I see him now.
Yeah.
Out and about, and I will talk to him.
Yeah.
We're just not actually... Like, he re-added me on Facebook like a month or 2 ago, and I accepted it because I was like, I'm at the stage
I'm good.
where I can, like, be friends with him on Facebook, but we're never going to be as close as we was. Because he continued on the path that I was,
Yeah.
and I'm basically in a completely...
You're not leaving us either.
Coconut.
Nobody's taking you away from us.
He does a lot of drugs.
You're stuck with us forever.
And stuff like that.
Maybe.
Which I did drugs at some point.
On
I did at least one drug.
I will admit to at least one.
I will admit to at least
And
one.
on more than one occasion.
Yeah.
And
we
that's
used,
the most I
we
will
used
give
to
you.
smoke a lot of weed playing these fucking platinum video games. We just sit around his coffee table.
Pause.
There was a
Just
bowl.
to
There was a
the
bowl in
left-hand
front of us,
side.
and we'd constantly just smoke.
Me and my friend and Mary Jane.
You guys bongs or joints?
Listening to Nelly.
Bongs.
If we're just chilling playing, if we're just chilling playing like Green Lantern, it's just like smoking joints.
That's epic.
We're not doing bongs unless we're trying to get.
Where do we go from here,
High
Tom?
science.
We wrapping it up?
That's it. Wrap up.
Yeah, I wonder if we wrap up from here, we could probably.
The next, we're going to show your.
20 minutes.
We're going to show.
Well,
No,
it's
we'll just
okay.
go to it. It's fine.
Yeah.
We're going to show your concoction video and then go to Clip.
Cool. So I will close out Pleasure Explosion. Thank you very much for joining me. Everyone who's watched live, especially everyone on the Kind of Funny Facebook group / everyone who managed to watch us through being hosted by Kind of Funny on Twitch. Really appreciate it. And like massively humbling experience in that 8 months ago, the 7 of us met at RTX because of Kind of Funny, having never put faces to names before, and now we are getting hosted by Kind of Funny.
Yeah, holy cow.
Pissing around, yeah, that
Holy cow, I just
that-
that just
that-
that
struck you?
that dawned on me halfway through the podcast, like just before
Funny was hosting us.
just before I started speaking my part. I went, fuck. Oh shit. No, I logged into Twitch and saw that basically the channels that I follow were Kind of Funny and Explosion Network, both showing
were
the same
showing us.
content, and that content was inclusive of my face. So yeah, that was
good
mildly bewildering. Yeah, shout out to Kind of Funny and everything they do and have done for us,
And everybody else has
will
been watching
continue
us
to
today.
do. Everybody that's been watching us, everyone who supports us, explosionnetwork.com,
especially for everyone who's been donating.
Yeah.
everyone who has donated as part of Extra Life, because that's why we're here. We're going to move on to playing Quiplash very shortly after finishing up here. Sorry for everybody listening on iTunes.
After
It's probably going to be a
And
Deeply-
podcast network
deep
around the world, because you're not going to get to watch us play Quiplash, and you're also probably not going to understand half of what was going on here tonight as
You're going
we.
to hear a lot of crap.
Maybe
We
get
love
the-
you nevertheless.
Maybe watch the VOD at the same time and get the Twitch chat up so you can see us talking to
Yeah.
people in Twitch every now and then.
As we sat around Jack's table. I thought of trying to lead into that a bit better, but it didn't quite work.
It was a bit
Fine,
shit.
it worked. It's fine. I was with you after you said.
My far right, John O'Peck.
You can find me on Twitter at Jono himself, and also Putting In Work podcast every week, every Thursday.
And the Spy and the Maven on Amazon. To his left,
Don't buy it on Amazon though.
Slide into Jono's DMs to get his book.
Jack.
And nudes. He'll send you nudes. I am Jack Cruz, Cruzy_mate on Twitter, Cruzy mate on YouTube. Today we pierced my nipple.
We sure did.
to my my
did.
super far left, Viva La Dill.
Hi.
VIVADIL.
He meant bye. His right, Kieran.
Hey, catch me on Twitter at your boy Ringo, or right here on twitch.tv/Explosion Network.
Shout out to Kieran.
Shout out to Kieran. That's where you'll find a lot of his stuff. To my immediate left, Nicholas
You can
Pryor.
find me on Twitter at NFrankBoxer.
Please don't say you changed.
And Frank, he's coming for you.
Coming for you, Anne Frank.
Of course you can. And to his left, Ashley Hobley.
You can find me on Twitter at Ashley Hobley, ASHLEY,
And the only reason that this has worked today, insofar as I can tell, is Dylan, who is actually sitting at the PC now instead of...
and Kieran. Kieran did a lot of
and
work.
Kieran,
as well.
there's a lot of Kieran's hardware, there's a lot of Dylan's setup, and a lot of teamwork gone into everything today. Appreciate everything, and love these guys a lot. Find me, if you really care to, TomDaBomb89, TOMDABOM89, anywhere and everywhere, except for Snapchat.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy Cruzy mate here with all you need to know about November here at the Explosion Network. Firstly, we would like to extend a big thank you to everyone who donated to our Extra Life campaign to help the big, beautiful kids. You can check out all our challenge videos going up on YouTube over the month of November. While you're over there, check out all our PAX coverage, the Explosion Network's first convention. We have a bunch of videos going up on all the games we played over at bit.ly/Explosion Network. Also, our Best of 2017 awards start in late November, so get pumped for that with more information to come soon. And don't forget, Older on Explosion continues every Friday at 12 PM if you want your weekly dose of Star Wars hype leading up to The Last Jedi. And you know, all our weekly shows will continue. Pleasure on Mondays, Platt on Tuesdays, and Grandstand Gurus goes live on Thursdays, all at 12 PM. And finally, we will be returning to full form over on twitch.tv/Explosion Network with all our weekly streams. So keep your targets locked on explosionnetwork.com for all of the explosive content.